Hi, how are you? It's Maria from Women into Wellness, and today I want to be talking about the power of protein. Okay, so protein, so important. It is one of our nutrients. It's a macronutrient that we get from our diet and our food sources. That is vital for our body, and that is because it fuels a lot of our anabolic and our metabolic processes in the body. Things such as our hormone production, the repair and the rebuilding of tissues within the body. And it also helps us to basically digest food in a way that actually curbs our hunger and makes us feel full and satiated. So there are a huge amount of benefits, and those are just three of the ones that I'm going to talk about today. So protein, as we've said, it's hugely important for the repair and rebuild of the body, and that's because it contains amino acids, which are known as the building blocks of tissue. And whenever there is a cell that's being produced, there's loads of other chemicals, but nearly always amino acids are being involved in this. So if you're going through a life stage or phase where you have undergone an injury or torn tissues or ligaments or damage in the body, or you've had a surgery and your body is rebuilding and repairing, or in fact you are just looking to get fitter and healthier and grow healthy muscle mass, increasing the nice sculpture of your body by packing on a bit of extra muscle there, then what you're going to need to do is make sure you're getting on adequate protein. Okay, another important reason as well, if you are going through a hormonal phase in your body, so not just the normal monthly cycles, because we know that we are prone to having these changes upon us monthly based on our menstruation. But if you're going through a life stage where perhaps you've got a cessation of your menstruation, so whether that's during pregnancy or you're in postnatal recovery or you're experiencing the perimenopause or you're postmenopausal, then your body needs to be able to produce the hormones, and it needs protein and amino acids to do this. Okay, so important that we take on board the amino acids we need into our bodies and that we get these through our diet. And then the third reason I mentioned is because it is actually very beneficial in filling us up, because it takes a lot longer to digest than things like your carbohydrates, which are more easily accessible and readily accessible within the body and within the gut. It actually takes longer to digest. Therefore, it helps you feel fuller for longer. You feel satiated, which means you're not going to be snacking or nibbling on food straight away after you've had that lovely protein-filled meal. So it can be great if you're looking also at just curbing your hunger, or in fact changing your eating habits, or in fact looking at sustaining healthy weight loss, because it helps you feel fuller for longer and because you're taking on board nutrients that actually support your body in rebuilding healthy tissue at the same time. So what are the sources of protein we can take on board? Well, of course, if you're a meat eater, you've got your meat-based proteins, whether that's going to be eating, red meat. It is actually better for you to be getting it from your fish and your seafoods and your poultry than it is from red meat, but that's a choice for you if you do eat meat. You've also then, of course, got your beans and your legumes, so that's your pulses, your beans. These are your lentils. These are the things that you can throw into soups and stews and slow cookers, that you can put onto salads, that you can also buy these days pre-made in packets if you want something that's really quick to cook. And you've got certain grains as well with a certain amount of it in there. You've got your seeds, you've got your nuts. So again, something that's readily available that doesn't need to be cooked this time, that you can just sprinkle onto food, onto salads, onto cereals, that you can put into your bacon if you're going to be having a healthy little bit of bacon going on. Pop in your seeds as well, or your nuts. And then, of course, we have got things like our eggs as well, and we've got our dairy. So many different ways that you can take on protein. You've got your soya as well. You've got your plant-based proteins that come from eating general plants as well. So you do have protein within those, but the aforementioned ones were the ones that have the higher concentrations of the protein. So what are we suggesting? How do you actually get this into your daily life? How much protein do you need? Well, the exact amount is going to vary for everybody, of course, as everything does, based on your physiology, based on your size. But what we can do is give you a general guideline, which is to try and eat a little bit of healthy, nutrient-dense protein with each of your meals of the day. So if you're a 3-person meal, then, and you do eat something like a cooked breakfast, then, a boiled egg in the morning. If you have a cereal, you can sprinkle some seeds into your cereal or have some chopped nuts in that. If you are a snacker, again, a handful of nuts, something like a boiled egg is also easy. If you love having things like your salads and your soups, then putting things like your quinoa grains into your salad, into your soup is going to be an easy way, or, having that portion of animal-based protein. And if it is some sort of flesh, meat-based protein, then a good guideline to make sure you're not overeating, because of course that can happen, is you don't need too much protein in your diet, and some of us are guilty of actually eating too much, is that it should actually be the size of your palm. So if you're having a serving of protein that has come from a meat-based animal, then what you want to do is just make sure it's actually no bigger than the size of your palm, and that'll be ample for a main meal. And there are lots of other ways that you can get this protein into your diet. If you want to have a drink, having a warm milky drink, whether that's one of the synthesized milks or whether it's an animal-based milk, they have protein in them. Okay, so having a drink as well can get your protein into your body. So really important to make sure that you are taking on board healthy sources, that you are taking on enough, not only for the rebuild and repair of tissues, but for your hormonal and your physiological, metabolic and anabolic processes, but also as well for your satiation, for curbing hunger, and to help you feel fuller for longer. So my challenge for you is to try and take on board that healthy protein each day, put it into your meals, see if it does affect how you feel with your hunger, see if it affects how you feel generally in your health, and pop a comment below and let's see how you get on. So until then, enjoy your journey with the power of protein, and I thank you for watching and I wish you well.